A late afternoon sun casts long shadows across Ouagadougou's international terminal as the repatriation flight descends. Journalists and diplomats line the tarmac, cameras poised. When the cargo hold doors open, the casket draped in Burkina Faso's tricolor emerges, an unmistakable symbol that a nation's grief and indignation have landed on home soil. This moment signals the start of a justice crusade ignited by the mysterious death of Alain Christophe Traoré, popularly known as Alino Faso. Who was Alino Faso? Alino Faso was more than an influencer. He was a digital age raconteur whose social media channels fused youthful energy with pro-junta commentary. At just 28, his live streams and satirical posts drew tens of thousands of followers, positioning him as both a cultural connector and staunch supporter of Burkina's transitional military government. His sudden demise left a gaping void, not only in the online sphere, but in a broader movement seeking stability after years of insurgency and coups. The controversial circumstances of his death. In late July, Ivorian authorities reported that Traoré hanged himself with bedsheets in a cell at the Dakar Gendarmerie School in Abidjan. They concluded it was suicide and released minimal details to his family, lawyer, and Burkina Faso's embassy, sparking immediate skepticism. Supporters and the Burkinabe government denounced the ruling as villainous murder, pointing to bruising on his wrists and the absence of a prior suicide record. Questions over notification protocols and autopsy transparency fueled doubt that this was anything but an illicit killing. National mourning and the repatriation ceremony. As the casket was escorted to the Thomas Sankara Memorial, mourners dressed in white sang revolutionary anthems. Government officials and civil society leaders joined Traoré's bereaved family for a ceremony that blended state ritual with grassroots lament. Speeches emphasized his role in shaping public opinion and decried the opaque circumstances of his death, setting the tone for a nationwide demand for answers and accountability. Public outcry, protests, and demands for justice. That evening, hundreds of demonstrators marched from the Sankara Memorial to the Ivorian embassy, placards raised high. "Truth now, justice for Alino, stop political killings." Chanting filled the air, propelled by collective anger at perceived abuses of power. Social media amplified scenes of tear gas and barricades, even as organizers insisted on peaceful protest. This groundswell underlined how Traoré's case had become emblematic of broader grievances about extrajudicial detentions and suppression of dissent. Government's promise. "This will not go unpunished." In a sharply worded address, Burkina Faso's Transitional Council vowed that Traoré's death will not go unpunished. The Foreign Ministry demanded a joint investigation with Ivorian authorities, insisting on Ghanaian or ECOWAS observers to guarantee impartiality. Legal teams prepared to file formal requests for diplomatic notes, while the prosecutor's office opened a domestic inquiry into possible complicity or negligence by Ivory Coast security services. Human rights perspectives. Local NGOs and Amnesty International's West Africa branch issued statements warning that Traoré's death mirrors a regional pattern of political detainees dying under suspicious circumstances. They urged Ouagadougou to secure unfettered access to crime scene evidence in Abidjan, including cell logs and forensic reports. Rights experts argue that without robust monitoring, detainees linked to controversial regimes remain vulnerable to abuse. With no recourse to justice. Diplomatic ripples in West Africa. Ouagadougou's demands have strained relations with Abidjan, which insists it upheld international detention standards. Ivory Coast's foreign ministry has yet to agree to a joint probe, highlighting jurisdictional red lines. Regional bodies, like ECOWAS, are now under pressure to mediate, lest bilateral tensions derail ongoing cooperation on counterterrorism. This dispute underscores how political murders can inflame interstate relations in an already volatile Sahel corridor. Pathways to accountability. Key steps could include establishing an ECOWAS-led commission with subpoena power to interview Ivorian security personnel and review autopsy findings, involving international forensic experts from the UN to re-examine remains and cell footage, empowering a civil society oversight panel to monitor legal proceedings and protect whistleblowers, leveraging diplomatic pressure through the African Union's Peace and Security Council to enforce investigative timelines. These measures aim to transform outrage into a credible justice process. The role of media and citizen journalism. In an era where bytes travel faster than bullets, citizen journalists in Burkina Faso have become frontline witnesses. Live video streams from protest lines, encrypted messaging groups sharing autopsy leaks, and podcasts dissecting legal technicalities have kept Traoré's story in the public eye. Traditional broadcast media now collaborate with these networks, ensuring that accountability demands permeate urban and rural communities alike. Their combined efforts illustrate the power and peril of modern information ecosystems in fragile democracies. A nation at a crossroads. As dusk settles once more over Ouagadougou, Alino Faso's casket rests at the National Mausoleum, a somber testament to a life cut short under murky circumstances. The path forward hinges on whether Burkina Faso and its neighbors can convert collective mourning into institutional reform. Will Traoré's death catalyze transparent investigations and stronger protections for political detainees? Or will his case slip into the archives of unpunished injustices? The coming weeks will determine whether justice in Burkina Faso remains a rallying cry or becomes yet another broken promise.